All right, so we are talking about automations. These are things that happen when some action occurs, then we do X, Y, Z, right? That's all an automation is. And you can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. We're going to go through some simple, the most common triggers, right? A trigger is what triggers the workflow. And then we're going to go through some common actions, right? So this is what happens after the trigger, and then we're going to go through the some of these pre-made action or excuse me workflows that I have made for you, and some of these are going to be set up and they're good to go, and some of them you're going to have to do some work to make sure that they get turned on and you've added the right products and things like that. Okay, so let's get started. All right, today we're talking about workflows. And so we're going to start with triggers. We're going to talk about what's the most important trigger, right? So a trigger is what starts the rest of the workflow. Okay, so we'll talk about the most common triggers. As you can see, there's tons of them. I'll eventually probably get to all of these, but for now, we're going to talk about what matters the most. So the first one is by far is forms. So this is when a form is submitted. And a form is anything you will show you that can ask a person their name, their email, their phone number, can ask them anything about them, and they're embedded into websites, into calendars, into funnels. So you can come in here and you can pick what the form is named. Right now, we only have one form, so as we call it, marketing form. Right? You hit save trigger, and now everything that happens after this is only going to be sent to the person who submits this form. Okay. So oftentimes you might want to send them a text. It's under SMS, and you can click this here, and you can write, hi. You can use whatever that lead name is with the custom values. You go to contact, first name, um, thanks for filling out the form. Any questions, right? Whatever you want to put, whatever is relevant to that form. You could also maybe you want to send them an email. You hit send email, same thing. You can put in the subject and the email, or if you have a pre-written template, you can put in the template. And we'll get into the rest of these actions later, but that's what typically what you'll see after a form submitted. All right. One thing you can do is you can hit these right buttons here. Oops. And then you can hit delete. You either delete this action or all actions from here. So if there's like 10 actions and you hit delete all actions from here, it would delete all of those. There's only one, so I'm gonna hit delete in this form. Okay. The next trigger we're gonna look at is called books appointment. So you can look for appointment. So you can say a customer booked an appointment with you, and you can decide. Well, you don't want to maybe send the same reminder for every single appointment. Maybe you do, and so you can say it's in this specific calendar, or if you have calendar groups. And so that way, let's say whatever the calendar group is, we have intro calls, which are the sales calls and coaching sessions, right? So maybe you want these to be different. So it's a sales call, right? Maybe these texts and emails are like, hi, contact, so great to, or I am looking forward to the call. Any questions before, right? So maybe that's what that kind of text looks like. And then maybe you can wait. And these wait steps, you could wait 30 minutes and send it, or you could say before this event. So wait, this customer booked an appointment, so it's going to use this appointment before, let's say one day before. Hit save, and now we're going to send another SMS that just says, we have a call in 24 hours. And you probably want to be more specific than this. I'm just using it as an example. And then you could do another wait step. and say 1 hour before, you could send them another SMS. It says 1 hour to go, and maybe an email as well for this one, right? Send email, 1 hour to go, right? Okay, so you could do something like that, right? So every time a customer books an appointment, you could do it by group, and then maybe you would add another customer, another automation where it's for the group calls, and instead of, so if we went in here, well, let's save this. Let me show you how you would do that. So you would hit save, and maybe you like this, the way this looks, and this would be intro call reminder. Save. You'd go back, you go to your intro call reminder. You hit the 3 dots, and you could duplicate it. And now this might be your coaching session reminder. And now we just change the group to coaching sessions, right? And so now it's going to be every time a coaching session is booked. And now instead of say, I'm looking forward to the call, you could say, actually, we don't want this anymore. Delete. And now for this wait, every day, 1 day before. And this text is now going to say, we have a training session in 24 hours, right? And so you'd go through and you could change the reminders like that, okay? All right, so now let's do something different. Oops. I'm going to delete all actions from here, get rid of all of these. This video is just about some general actions that are super helpful, okay? The first one you've probably seen me use already if you've seen any of the other videos, and it's a internal notification where you can notify email, a app notification, or a text. A lot of people use text, and then you can choose all users, the assigned user, some custom phone number. So if you want to send it to somebody outside your organization or who's not in the, maybe an employee who doesn't have access to the CRM, or to just a particular user, right? If there's a particular user, you'd be able to pick who you wanted to go to. Okay, so that's how all notifications work. Very helpful. Often you want users to know what's happening within these automations because they are just going off the background. And this is how you know that certain things are happening, right? You have a notification step. All right, another really important action would be you want to move someone in the pipeline, right? So let's say payment was received for this trigger. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to create or update opportunity. So let's say they were in your ongoing coaching leads, where you can change the opportunity name, the source, the lead value. But really what you want to change most of the time is just the stage. So you would just say, hey, they went from a new lead, but they signed up and paid, so I'm going to move them to signed. And that's going to happen automatically, right? So that's another one where you can just say, hey, as people are doing these things, I want them moving through the pipeline without having me to manually move them, okay? Another thing could be, let's delete this one. So let's just use this example of a trigger if someone's paid. Maybe you have 2 other workflows that are sending like marketing emails to them, and you don't want them to be in those anymore. So what you can do is you can remove someone from workflows. You can remove them from this workflow. So this would be if you had like if a branch, maybe one of the branches is removed from this workflow. You could say, well, if they sign up here, I don't want them to be in this other one single workflow, and you would pick which workflow you don't want them to be in. Or you could say all other workflows except for this one. Like maybe this is a they've triggered this payment, and then you want to remove them from all other workflows, but then you have a bunch of emails and texts below this that you want them to get. You would say remove them from all workflows except this one. Or maybe you just want them to be done. It's a really simple automation. It's, hey, when this happens, literally remove them from every single workflow that we have. Okay. So this remove workflow is very powerful and important, especially all when you're removing them from all workflows, because again, they might be part of 5 other different email marketing automations, and this just stops it because they've paid, right? So that's a really important one. Okay. All right, so I would say those are the most important ones. We're going to go through, and I'm just going to show you some of the ones that might be useful, just so that you're aware of them. You could have a task. So when something happens, you could add a task for yourself, and then it'll show up on the dashboard that you have a task to get done. All your communications are here. Send an email automatically, send a text message automatically, call, connect. This is, you can record a voicemail and it will just drop into their voicemail. This works maybe 50% of the time, so it's a nice add-on, but don't count on it. You could send a Facebook message, an Instagram message. This manual action and anything that says manual action would be a reminder on your dashboard that says, hey, you need to text this guy, or hey, you need to call this guy or woman. Okay, yeah, so those are all the important ones. Okay, so the first one that we're going to go over that's already in here, you can see we have a bunch in here for you, are going to be these marketing workflows, okay? So inside marketing, we have 5. First one, this new lead workflow. Alrighty, so wherever you have a something on your website that says, hey, claim this offer, doesn't matter what the offer is, it's going to have this form, okay? And it's just going to be called the claim offer form submission. You can look under forms of how do you put that onto your website, or how do you put it into a funnel on here and connect your website to this, right? There's a couple ways to do this, but basically once someone submits this form, it's going to trigger this workflow. The other trigger, if you have easy ads, is when a Facebook lead fills in the form that's on Facebook, they'll get added to this workflow, and because they're automatically tagged as a Facebook lead, it'll trigger this. Okay, so these are the 2 triggers. And so the first thing that's going to happen is the lead is going to get moved into the new lead stage in the pipeline. And then they're going to be added to the long-term nurture workflow, right? So this way, if they don't answer any of the text or emails that's about to come to them, they're going to get a weekly email that to hopefully get them to sign up eventually. After they've been added to that, and these are like milliseconds apart, right? So that they're pretty much instantly going to get a conversational email and a conversational text message. Now it's up to you if you want to change this. And so this is a custom value that you should have figured out, that you should have filled in with whatever promotion that you use. Hey, thanks for claiming our whatever promotion. John, looking forward to seeing you. Be sure to check out our calendar, schedule your appointment. This is your custom value for your marketing website booking page. This is the calendar. Again, this is another custom value. We also shot you a text if you have any questions in the meantime, and then the location name. So that's just your business name. At the same time, they're going to get this text that says, hey, John, thanks for claiming our promotion. Have you ever had a personal trainer in the past? Of course, you can change this. It's just supposed to be very conversational, getting something because they haven't signed up yet. They've just said that, hey, I'm kind of interested. And so we want to convert them, right? So you do that by having this conversation, getting to know them a little bit, and then saying, hey, perfect. It's time to book. And so what happens is this is a yes or no question. And so we wait 2 minutes, or we wait for them to reply, okay? If they reply within 2 minutes, they're going to come down this branch. And if they don't reply, they're going to come down this branch, right? So you need, in this wait step, if you're going to have this, did they reply or not reply, you have to have, instead of wait, you have to wait for contact reply. And you have to say that they're replying to this conversational email, or they could reply to the SMS. So each one of these is okay. And then we'll say, okay, they did reply. If they replied, we're going to send them a text. If it was a positive reply, we're going to say, great, you've worked with, you know what to expect. If you have, as a reminder, you need a schedule right here, or you can call us. If they didn't reply, or if they reply that they haven't worked with a personal trainer or something else that's negative, um, then they're going to get you're going to get a notification saying, hey, you got to respond to this person, right? This is something that's unexpected. We're not really sure what they said, so you need to respond to them. Same thing if it's like they didn't answer yes or no, just a notification saying that you need to respond. And then there's a wait step. So you're going to wait. It's going to wait 24 hours. And then there's a call reminder. So they'll be removed if they've booked that whatever that offer is. They'll be removed, so there won't be a call. But you're just calling them because they're interested. They know what to expect. They haven't booked for some reason, so you're just calling them to get them booked. And then up here, if the contact didn't reply, then what's going to happen is it's going to call you. This call connect means they're going to call you. And the system's going to call you, and then you're going to press any button. Just press like a 1. And look, it says it right here. Hey, a new lead's been generated. Their name is contact name, president key to connect with John, right? And so it's going to call you. It's going to say that you press, any key, press 1, 2, whatever, and then you get called. If this person doesn't answer, you're going to click, didn't answer on the phone, and then you're going to record a voicemail that you want, and that voicemail is going to get dropped into their, their inbox. Okay. If you don't want to do this, you just want to record a different, whatever that you just want to record whatever voicemail you feel like saying at that moment. You can just delete this step. It's not a big deal. And then you're going to wait a day, and you're going to send another text message that just says, "Do you have any questions?" Okay. So that is this new lead nurture Fast 5. So the 2 things that you need to do is you need to record this voicemail or delete it, and then you need to take that form and embed it into this form here, this claim offer form submission. You need to embed this into your website or wherever you're making this offer. Okay, and then once those things are done, just turn it on, and then it's good to go. Okay, this appointment confirmation plus reminders. These are just confirmation that somebody booked, and then reminders 24 hours and 1 hour beforehand. Nothing really to change here. If you make new calendars and that you have, for whatever reason you want to use a different calendar than what we've made here, this is just for the sales calls. We've called this calendar how your location works with athletes. So if you change the name of this, or you start a new business, or you start a new calendar, and you want to use these same reminders, you can add it here. What's going to happen with this one is that they booked a sales call with you, so you're going to be removed from the new lead workflow. Or you could have this so that they've booked that free offer session, and they'll get removed from the new lead workflow. Okay, they'll update the opportunity in the pipeline to booked, and then they get a confirmation email, a 24-hour reminder, and then a 1-hour reminder email and text. Okay, so that's what this one looks like. There's appointment no-show. All it is if I'll show you, is if after every call you can change the appointment status. So you would change this appointment status to no-show. This is particularly this is that sales call. You would send an email that says reschedule. You would send a text that says, hey, sorry you're unable to make it. Let's get you rescheduled. It's going to wait a day. It's going to send another text. Okay. So that's the appointment no-show workflow. That one's turned on. This is the new sale. So when someone goes and buys a product, buying, and this is empty. You can see right now, you can choose what product you want this to happen when they buy. we have a whole another set of workflows for your general training sales. So this is more for camps and clinics. They'd be removed from other workflows. And you can select which workflow you want them to be removed from. So this removes them from the long-term nurture workflow. Creates an opportunity. And then here you would set the start time for the camp or the clinic. Um, and then they would wait 30 days and then send a review request. And honestly, this wait 30 days is probably too much. Oh, it's 3 days. I was going to say it's way too much. All right, so they're going to wait 3 days. And then they're going to ask to give you a review on Google or Facebook, whatever you have set up under reputation in the CRM. And then wait 3 days. And then just it's going to be a notification to you saying, did this person leave a review? And if they didn't, you can manually just text them and say, hey, can you leave a review, please? Okay. All right. And then the last one here is long-term nurture. So you should have, if you're following this in the email sequence, you should have gone into the emails yesterday and updated the intro emails and the nurture emails. So what's going to happen is this is the long-term nurture, right? So it's going to wait an hour after that initial, that fast 5, right? Which should be all those things happen in the first 5 minutes. And then an hour later, they're going to intro email. And this email is going to just say, you're going to, I mean, again, you're going to want to go in and update this, but this is a part of a sequence for them to get to know, like, and trust you. Right? So you're going to talk about what you help specifically, right? So they know immediately they should either say, yep, this is exactly what I'm looking for, or no, it's not, right? So that way they know whether they should keep reading, whether they should keep opening the future emails. Okay. You want to talk to your specific audience. That's why we say right away who we help and what we help them do. And then we give a little bit of like, hey, I know I started this business because, and then some sort of story that makes them emotionally connected to you. And then something that reassures them that they're in the right place. And then in the coming days, I'm going to share a few stories with you, right? That how we've helped athletes like your child. Okay. And so that's what all of these intro emails do. And so it waits an hour and then it waits a day, gives them the second intro email. Again, hopefully you've updated these. If not, before you turn this on, make sure you update these to talk about yourself. Intro email 3, intro email 4, intro email 5. And then they wait a week because you've been sending them an email every day, getting to know you. And then you wait a week and a nurture email and nurture text. They wait another week, nurture email and nurture text. Wait 2 weeks, email 3, text 3. Wait a month, email 4, text 4. And then last thing is just a tag that they've gone through the entire nurture campaign. And then I've added the newsletter tag. If you want to write a newsletter that just goes out on a weekly, monthly basis, whatever, just to keep these guys in thinking about you, then this tag, you would just create a workflow that triggers when the newsletter tag's added, and then you can just have some like emails that that you want to go out over and over again. Okay, so that's how this long-term nurture campaign works. Okay, this $1,000 campaign for a clinic. There's a whole video dedicated to just this one, so look for that. Post sale, I'm not going to go through these. These are a little bit more complicated. You can read through them if you want. They're set up. Okay, so basically, if they signed up for the training package, it could be any training package, and this is we already have pre-made in here payments. The 3 months one-on-one, 3 months group, whether it's in location 1 or 2, 6 months one-on-one in group, location 1 and 2, 12 months location 1 and 2, group and one-on-one. Okay. They sign up for any of that stuff. After 30 days, they're going to get asked for a review. And then and then what's going to happen as well is this system only allows to book for a recurring something on the calendar for 13 weeks. So it's going to go to you and say, hey, this person just bought for X amount of months. And you're just going to have to go to Google and just copy that, whatever that time and date is for the following week and just have it finish out the 6 months or 12 months or whatever they purchased. Okay, so there's a notification in there for you to do that. And then what's going to happen here is if they bought for 3 months, after 3 months, after 2.5 months, they're going to get an email saying, hey, your paid training is coming to a close. You should re-enroll. Okay. The 6-month one just says, after 5.5 months, it says, hey, your paid training is coming to a close. You should re-enroll. And the 12 months waits 11.5 months and says, hey, your paid training is coming to a close. You should re-enroll. Okay. And then this is just removing them if they've paid for something. It removes them from a workflow to get them to sign up. Okay. So this schedule training reminders after they purchase. What will happen is if you use the funnel that I've built, they're going to go to a separate page in the funnel that says you need to now schedule what day you want to train. Right? You've paid. You need to schedule what day you want to train. And now, if they don't do that, what's going to happen is they're going to get emails and texts saying, hey, you've paid, it's time for you to schedule your training, pick the day and time that you want this training to occur on a weekly basis, right? Because obviously we don't want them to pay and then not sign up. Because if they don't come to training for 2 or 3 weeks, what's going to happen is they're just going to ask for their money back. So that's what this one is. Okay. And then the last thing is they're going to get reminders on a weekly basis once they've signed up for training that, hey, you've got training in 24 hours. Okay, so don't miss it. Okay, yeah, so that is that. This reminder to send feedback to parents folder. In here is just a reminder to send notes to the parents. So every time a appointment is completed, it's just going to send you a notification saying send feedback to the parents. So every time an appointment status is showed in either of the training groups, you're going to get a notification that you can copy and paste that says notes, training, and what we worked on. And you can just copy and paste this, and it'll take you directly to the conversation with the parents. So that way you can just give them an update. Hey, this is what we worked on. These are any notes that I have. And this is the independent training that this kid has that he needs to do between our sessions. And that's just an easy reminder that if you give that feedback, they're more likely to keep training with you, right? So this is just a really easy way where you can't forget to send that feedback to parents, because I know it's easy to do back-to-back sessions. And then you don't remember what you've sent or what you haven't sent, right? So once you're done, you can either do it between sessions or you can do it at the end of the night. You can go through all your notifications and just send these out, okay? This send contract, this is if you use contracts, then there is in the pipeline a contract stage where they have to sign it before they can actually get signed on. And so if you move that lead to that stage in the pipeline, it'll automatically send them a contract. Of course, that means you're going to have to go into the payments, set up a contract, and then go into this automation and decide which contract you want sent to the parents. Okay. This is just a text-based list reactivation. So you need to go in there. And so if you want to, whatever special you want to run, if you want to do it with texting, you can just go in, modify the texts, and then manually add people from contacts. You just click everyone you want to add and add them to the automation with a little robot button under contacts.